Hello, everybody. Welcome to day number 14. Nothing much to say. We have updated a tiny bit of the stream's media stuff. Nothing too crazy, but we're a bit fresh. I just realized before starting the stream that Spotify, or not Spotify, I don't use that. What's it called? Whatever the like in-house media thing is for Windows, whatever it's called. I just realized it wasn't being picked up because I just changed from Spotify to this. Um, I was gonna change the music today. I'm too scared of YouTube's whatever it's called, like policies to change the music, so we're gonna stick with this for now. Um, it is whatever, you know. It's not a huge part of the stream. I do want to make sure I am playing good music, but I also want to make sure I don't get DMCA'd. So that's a huge part of it. Anyways, let us get started. Move over here. Make sure everything's good. So yeah, nothing really of note. I hope everyone's having a good one. It is today's Sunday. Uh, Tomorrow is Martin Luther King Day for us Americans. So happy Martin Luther King Day in advance to tomorrow's stream. We will be streaming Monday through probably just through Sunday. I mean, actually probably do 6 days, so we'll probably take Sunday off. But yeah, without any further ado, let's get into it. Let's do our warm up. 10 minutes on the clock, and yeah. Nothing. Oh yeah, let's turn up the music before we forget. I'm always bad about that. Maybe I could figure out a way to like set it to a hotkey or something. Anyways, wow, I keep messing with. There we go. Hope everyone's having a wonderful Sunday. Pretty relaxing day for me. It's a bit too early to get started working on school stuff. Some of my class have prerequisites, so I was just getting that sorted. But most of it was just working on that game that I've been talking about. Other than that, though, another one of my roommates showed up. Great to see him. Always awesome. Got some dinner together, and yeah, pretty standard day. I almost forgot how much I like sleeping in my apartment more than my actual, home back home. I don't know. I just get better sleep here, probably because I have a much better bed. It's probably a big part of it, but I really do feel much better in here, much more in control. Probably because whenever I go home for the winter break, I definitely lose all my good sleeping habits. So I stay up all night, stuff like that. Welcome to the school year. And I'm definitely getting that intimidating post or preschool oh my gosh, I'm in all these classes and they're gonna expect quizzes and stuff from me. But at the end of the day, we've experienced that for many years at this point, so truly nothing new. My lines are okay today. Nothing crazy of note. I could probably ghost a little bit more intensely. As I say, making marks on the page, goodness. I will be releasing to the stream to the Drawbox community soon. Not totally sure when. Probably just when I feel comfortable. I want to get a taste of my classes first to make sure I'm, there. Don't want to let any people down, like I said last stream. Hopefully my mic is doing better this stream. I hooked it up to I have a USB connector because I have, I run everything off of a laptop. And it was running through the USB connector, which probably has a very low bitrate. I think if that's the best way to call it. I don't know. So yeah, hopefully it sounds better this stream. Last stream I put the hashtag Drawbox in the description, and it got significantly more views. Now, I'm no popular YouTuber, but it did, I'm maybe assuming it made a tiny bit of a difference. So if people who are watching this are from Drawbox, welcome. Glad you're here to suffer with me. I'm kidding. Yeah, this is always a highlight of my day, despite me claiming that. Textures may be difficult, perspective may be difficult, but I really, really do enjoy showing up for this. And I'm not just telling myself that. My roommate today, when we were talking, he brought up that he's going to, he wanted to borrow my webcam. And I was like, of course, just not when I'm streaming. But he wanted to play a game that I highly recommend everyone play called Before Your Eyes. An amazing game. Now, it will make you cry. That is a fact. Out of every game I've played ever, or every game that I know about that could make you cry, that game will make you cry. And I've had several friends tell me, oh, I won't cry. And then they play it. And guess what? They cry playing it. It is such an amazing game. Smaller studio, I believe. Nothing too crazy, and I don't think it's that expensive either. But it's an amazing experience. It's not a gameplay game per se. It's a experience game where I don't want to spoil anything, obviously, but the game is operated by your camera. So if you blink in the game, and that manipulates tons of game mechanics, such as you may go forward in time, maybe 3 days, maybe 3 years, who knows. Very innovative and interesting and powerful. Sorry, I need to focus on my lines a bit there. Very powerful mechanism in the game. It's kind of like the whole VR debate, whether VR will actually become a common gaming asset, just like a keyboard or a mouse. And obviously, people are not going to be controlling video games with their eyes solely, but maybe that could become a pretty fun game mechanic in the future. What if someone made that a mod for like SCP or whatever it's called? Oh, I did not check my convergence for this line. Oh, actually, I did. Okay. A mod for SCP or Lethal Company. In fact, that could be a pretty fun project. Like an enemy that, if your eyes are closed, that would actually be very, very fun. Maybe that's my next project. It is made in Unity, and I am obviously familiar with that service, but yeah. So for those listening, please go try out Before Your Eyes. Oh geez, should have ghosted my line there a bit more. We do have a texture lined up today. It's getting really hard to find textures, especially easier ones, goodness. But the good thing is, as I've done this, I have definitely improved with my texture ability, so it's not that hard anymore to find textures that I can do. It's going to be so liberating. I love textures, don't get me wrong, but it's going to be so liberating to move into Lesson 3. My great friend Delano, who we've been pseudo-competing, for who can complete what, is eons ahead of me. But we'll catch up somehow, some way. They've always been very supportive of my streams and stuff like that, so better return the favor and give them a fair fight. We have over here. Good stuff. This box isn't... I said it the previous stream, oh, we need to start grading my boxes, but, I'm going to really focus on this one, talk a tiny bit less. It's going to be quite wide, too, a very wide box. Amazing line to start off, wow, I'm very proud of that one. My hair's falling off, goodness, it's all the stress. Yeah, not totally accurate, but very precise. Oh wow, look at these lines. See, this is what happens when I shut up and focus. Now for the hard part. I've had some pretty poor boxes recently. So part of this is just doing it to convince myself that I can still make good boxes. Bit of a wobbly line, but that's definitely okay. We want more convergence than we do fancy looking lines. Good penmanship. Oof, very far convergence, but I think we'll make it work. I ate some fast food for not the first time in a while, but now that I'm back at university, I'm really budgeting and watching my meals, and man, 17,000 calories or 1,700 calories. I get it. American food is special, but goodness, that is quite excessive for one meal. See, this is what happens. I'm thinking about excessive calorie counts and miss my line. Don't think about calories when doing art. See, look at that. That line actually could be inaccurate. I'm okay with that being inaccurate. Because this line defines our vanishing point in this direction, so as long as it's precise, I think we're fine. I just realized I am in the middle of a lesson in Drawbox. What happens when I switch lessons? Do I just study in my own time off stream? That's a good question. I think I will. I mean, because you guys sitting there while I just browse through and watch Uncomfy's videos, I don't think that'd be too entertaining nor helpful. And plus, this stream exists so that we can draw together, not to do whatever. I'm also quite excited because I got a blackout curtain for my, what's it called? For my, I almost called it a dorm for my apartment. Sleep is a very, very important thing to me, and it should be a very, very important thing for everybody because it's so important. Oh, these longer lines always kill me. Let me go up like this bit. But yeah, it's a bit weird because you have to cut out the actual frame of the window for the curtain. Very, very strange. But hey, I mean, if it means I'll get good sleep. I'm just a bit worried because I don't want to have to like take it down and put it back up every night. It isn't like an actual curtain. It's something you stick on the wall. But it is a bit funny because there's these birds, I swear, that watch me. They're sterlings, I believe. They just watch me through the window every morning. It creeps me out. I try to wave or say hi to them and they just look at me. Not very friendly. It's pretty good. Wonderful. Great stuff. Okay, let's do some ellipses and then get to our texture of the day. I was also thinking that I make a easy GitHub repo website for Drawbox where I put some tools that I like in there, so like a box generator or a perspective challenge or stuff like that. And alongside that, a not texture generator, but a texture texture generator makes it sound like it's generating an image, which is definitely very common these days. But a texture generator in the sense that it has a huge backlog of photos, and the hard part would be like giving credit to those photos, or maybe links, or maybe it could just be a hyperlink and show the source. But regardless, it just generates you a texture. You could have a couple hundred in there, make a big catalog of good images. Because like, if you think about it, there's been hundreds of Lesson 2 submissions, so there has to be many unique textures to select from. And now that I know how to use WebGL for Unity, that's actually a very, very easy, or not just the texture things, but the just the tools for perspective and stuff. Wow, who knew going to school and studying things would make me better at them? Not that I specifically study Unity, that'd be an interesting class. My roommate just sent me the craziest message, and I cannot read that on stream. Good stuff. I would live with some actual comedians, man. It is almost demeaning. These guys, like, I could never be as funny as they are. It is crazy. I don't know where they get it from, but they are talented at it. Sometimes when I'm drawing, I think of, because I've met some pretty amazing people in Drawbox. I talk about that all the time. But with the friends that I've made, if we ever work on projects together in the future, stuff like that, what will come of it? Not what will come of it in the sense of like, oh, what am I gonna do? But like, where will it take me? Super fun stuff, isn't it? It's like whenever you're a kid. I'm not sure if you did this, but me and my friends did this a lot. We were like, oh, we're gonna get a house together and we're gonna play video games, we're gonna do this. Now that I'm at the ability where I can start creating things with people, and I'm finding more and more creative friends who are very talented and good people, those dreams are almost somewhat coming a reality. Now, would I want to be in a house surrounded with a bunch of artists? No, they're probably nerds. But with that being said, just the idea of surrounding yourself with people who are just super skilled. Imagine walking into the office and you are paired up with Olympians. Wonder if that's how scientists feel, or even if they recognize that. Like if scientists work with each other and they're like doctorates, they've made so many strides and great research, yet it's just normal to them. I'm doing a bit of ellipses today more than just circles because I feel like it. Of course, my thinner ellipses are better than my circles. Let's do a big one to finish it off. Amazing stuff. Okay, and that was our warm-up for today. Do a quick water break. Thankfully, my voice is feeling a lot better than it was yesterday. I actually went to the store today as well, and so back stocked up on my sparkling water. That is a very important part of my process. It's funny too, because I was wearing some Target, for example, how the workers there wear red. I did the equivalent of wearing red to the store, and people kept stopping. Like 2 people stopped me, and they're like, "Excuse me, do you work here?" Craziness. Okay, so yesterday we did our Viper scales, which turned out quite well. I may actually return to this one and add some darker shading. I know less is more when it comes to ink and stuff, but I feel like I could use it. Same thing with the onion, but we're gonna leave it for right now because what we're kind of doing is we're kind of like cryo freezing these, and we're just leaving them. And then we're going to get better as we do more textures, and then come back to them and be like, okay, we can make these tweaks to it. We'll see anyways, if that actually happens. I mean, we do have quite a few textures left, including our new texture today, ice cream. Or actually, ooh. Oh my gosh, ice cream. Okay, so it's the cone. The cone is what we're actually working on today, right? Let me move it over to the camera. There we go. But like, ice cream itself, that would be a crazy difficult but super interesting texture. We'll put that one in the box. We'll think about that. But right now we're going to focus on the waffle cone. See these little squares? Very interesting. Bevel squares. Oh goodness. Sorry about that. It's just really bad voice crack. But yeah, so these squares are super helpful for... I mean, the shadows are super helpful for like learning about these textures and these forms, and also I really do want to incorporate, kind of like what we did with the onion over here, is I want to incorporate this little fold right here. That's an important part. This is going to be a somewhat tougher one, but it is pattern based, so it'll be kind of like a little Viper scale experience, and we do have to do the difficult job of picking where we want these to be, these squares to be. I say we could just do it right here. Slowly fill up from right to left, as we said. Yeah, I don't think that's too bad of an idea. So let us get to work. We got our pins out for once. We're ready. I changed my stream setup too, so I can easily see my reference and chat and everything at the same time. Hopefully, in theory. So with that being said, let us get started. So, as you know, this whole texture looks like a square. So we're gonna draw a square. Just do a quick reference. Some educated guesswork as to how a flat version of our texture would look. And thankfully this texture is somewhat algorithmic in nature. As in, it's like it has a defined pattern. And in fact, what I'm going to do here is, I'm not going to do it like, horizontally across. I'm going to do it a bit tilted, right? So let's get to it. Honestly, I chose this picture first, just the ice cream was, in the way. This one isn't too helpful, but... And we can actually do this rim too. I think that'd be cool. We could do the rim on one of the sides. and then this across it. But for now, let's focus on these. So with each square, which is a bit trapezoidal. Okay, let's Google. I always say trapezoidal. Trapezoid. Okay. So yeah, trapezoid is what we referred to in the past, and we're correct. Is it a rhombus? Yes. Okay, these are a lot like a rhombus or a diamond. They aren't very square-like. In fact, this one here is a perfect example. And what we have going on is the light is coming from this direction over here, right? And so because of that, actually no, it's coming from above because the shadows are underneath and there's none right here. So it's creating this embossed bevel. I don't know the correct word for it, shape. So what we're actually gonna do is we're gonna do a test like a swatch here. And we're just gonna make it a square for now. Making sure to ghost, as our friend in chat reminded us. And we're gonna do our interior square, but we have to be mindful here about what's happening with this, with the shadows. So the shadow's really deep right here because it kind of has this fall off. If we're gonna do a side view, we have the main part, the bevel, the chamfer, whatever you may call it, and then a little bit of a dip. Then the actual interior, this, that, boom. So yeah, very easy shape to draw, relatively at least. So whenever we have a shadow, let's say it's coming, or shadow, a light source. So we're going to say it's coming from over here. What we're going to do is we're going to have two shadows. This one, a bit dark. This one very dark down here. Yeah. So yeah, if like this one pretty light, whatever. This one very thick. Because there's not much light entering there from that. Yeah, so if we repeat that over here, I'm gonna move the camera just a tiny bit closer. Man, I really like this camera. It's like a gimbal almost. It stays upright. It looks like our focus is doing much better today, so I'm very thankful for that. Looking at this, we're gonna repeat this over here, and I'm actually not gonna, like we said in the previous stream, or the stream before that, we do not want to be outlining the form, we want to be outlining the cast shadow of the form. So in fact, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna do what I did yesterday, a tiny bit, and we're gonna create, this is the right here, and this is the right here. So, I actually did that a bit small, but who cares? What is going to happen is if we have our light from above, right? It's like a little dude with funny hair. In fact, I'm going to do it from over here. Light is going to miss this part, so we're going to have a bit of this going on. And then a tiny bit on the inside that's very dark right there. Now we obviously can't really change the thickness or the darkness of our lines. You know, we only have 1 or 0. And while you could technically do cross-hatching, we're not allowed to do that for this assignment. So, draw over this. So it's going to look something like that. A less dramatized version of it, we'll do another one down here. So we're going to have our lip. Something like this. In fact, I think I did it a bit overboard with that corner. Yeah, looking at the actual shape. Okay, these are just like idealistic. They're like from my mind. Oh, I forgot to set my hour timer. Let's do that real quick. There we go. Awesome stuff. What we're actually going to do here is we're just going to copy from reference now, or copy. We're going to study it, quote unquote, to get a better idea of what's actually happening. So here's one of our squares. Have this. I'm focusing on, just lost it, this one right here. Not sure. Yeah, if you if you guys can see that. Awesome. So yeah, we're gonna be focusing on this one. Then my little mouse is like a pointer there. This, it goes back in. Then it goes up. To the side. Up. And it kind of is a bit rounded, right? In fact, this side is quite thin, so I don't think I should have done that. So yeah, something like this. Generally, we had a similar shape. And now what we're going to do is we're going to shrink it. So, and in fact, the corner kind of had a bit of a shadow as well. But yeah, we're going to shrink this texture a bit. So we're going to give it the line. Actually, we'll do a actual box for it. There we go. And so we have this. Good. Like that, something like that-ish. Yeah, I'm starting to kind of see it there too. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a like a swatch of this and try to replicate it. And my stream is so small on my other monitor that I can't actually tell if it's blurry or not. Let's try to fix that real quick. Yep, it doesn't look like OBS wants me to do that. Oh, I can make it smaller. That's helpful. Okay, well, I will just trust that it's good until someone in chat tells me otherwise. Okay, good. So, yeah, let's just start doing our squares, and we're going to do them sideways, or rhombuses. So, might as well just draw a bunch of squares like this, right? Oh, but these aren't actually even squares. How we would do it is it would be like this. It would have a gap. Drawing kind of like some idealistic ones. Oh, it's going the other way. Well, that's fine. Then we have a gap and yeah, another square. Trying to see how these it just looks like the shadow kind of gets bigger because like watch, like as we go more into the shaded portion of it, the inner square gets smaller, so large, small, small, and then gets completely covered, right? And in fact, there's some spillover between these forms. Can you even see my mouse? Okay, cool. There, right here. So in fact, yeah, the silhouette of the shadow ends up like becoming the main form over here almost. We're not gonna get that dark. In fact, we actually can near the edge of the sausage form, but for now we're gonna focus on this. So I should have actually done these a little bit lighter to demonstrate what a lighter shadow looks like, but we're just gonna keep going into a deeper, darker shadow. So these aren't separated by much. So we're gonna draw an hopefully equal sized like a little F, and the size of it increases a bit, so we're gonna go like this. It's probably a bit much, but we'll make it work. And as for that shadow in the corner, it kind of doesn't exist totally. Sometimes it does, but we're not going to worry about that too much. Trying to not let my brain imagine this as like, I don't know, as like sideways. I'm just trying to think of it as a grid. But like this diamond shape is really messing up my brain with that. This seems good. So yeah, I guess we can always start with like, in fact, this grows a tiny bit as well, but we're not going to give that too much. gonna be consistent. Yeah, that's gonna be a major thing, is being consistent with the oh, I'm already starting to see it kind of. In fact, what we could do to kind of help it out. Add a broken line or two to the interior. Just to say, hey, this is the form that's underneath it. I think that's great. I think that looks awesome. That was a bit far, because like the actual edge of the square is there. But we'll continue. Yeah, we overdid it a bit right here, so I'd say like this is a pretty good example. This is overdoing it. Yeah, okay. So let's continue. Keep it going. Only 7 minutes in, and we've done so much work already. We're getting faster and faster. Delano better be ready. The 100 million Kavel warriors will soon be storming upon his domain. Oh, yeah, my squares are kind of getting lighter. So we have this. Let's do another one. It's about that, so. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just start pre-drawing them. We can't do this on the actual page because the, I mean, we technically could, kind of like we did with the, serpent scale, the viper scales, but at the same time we have to be mindful that the shadow is changing not only up and down, but to the sides, so. Oof. I mean, that doesn't really matter. These are going to be pretty dark anyways. Okay, so, we're gonna use the darker ones. I'm gonna say like this, and then it's nearly completely dark over there. So yeah, this is where it's like this, almost. Oh shoot, that should have been a pretty sharp. Giving a bit of randomness to each one. And in fact, I hate to do it, guys, but for this one, we're going to pull out the Sharpie of Doom. If I could find the bag. There we are. And this page will bleed. Let me make sure this is a good Sharpie. That is wonderful. I will not use the Sharpie of Doom, or I'll try not to, at least on the main page of textures, because that is such an easy way to overdo it, and we don't want to do that. We're going to do the interior forms first, and then the exterior, and then we'll thicken up the exterior if we need to. Let me pull out one of our scratch sheets of paper. We'll go the evil, very, very evil. Actually, this has lead all over it. I'm not sure if I want to use that totally. We'll see. The evil Kiwano melon, arch enemy from now until death. So be very gentle with this. Sharpie can so easily overdo things. Oh, everything smells like Sharpie now too, goodness. I cleaned the fridge in my apartment today, so I already had like, I bleached it and then of course washed it down to be safe. Or didn't bleach it, but you know, I used some heavy cleaning supplies, and I already had that in my nose, and now this powerful Sharpie, it's oof, it's powerful. My last roommate should show up tomorrow, so quite excited. The gang's all there. Okay, I feel like these overdid it a bit. That's okay, because this is just a test one. This kind of reminds me of my alligator texture, not only because of the very, very thick line work, but actually, no, probably because of the thick line work, I'm not gonna lie. What we can actually do too is add some broken lines to the side of it and blend it so it looks like there's some gaps in there. I don't know, maybe it'll look cool. Okay. Actually, I smell food right now, so I think my roommates are cooking. Can I do this? Let's see what else is happening. I mean, this line doesn't get totally broken until the very end, so for these right here, this next row, we'll start breaking the line, basically. I'll call it that. Wow, my roommates are cooking something strong, that's what. It smells great. Awesome stuff. Hopefully the fire alarm doesn't go off. We have a problem with that with our stove, so let's hope that that does not happen during stream. If it does, I'll obviously mute myself and we'll probably just continue working. Okay, let's do our next batch of squares. I really like these. I was about to say that one, but I overdid it a bit. So definitely we will adhere to the philosophy of less is more. I think the very nature of ink is, oh, like I want to fix it, I don't have an eraser, so I'll just keep drawing over it. But ink is an additive process, so there's no fixing it once it's done. And typically, very typically, or at least in my experience, and which is not much experience, it will overdo it. More ink, especially for delicate forms like these, is not a good choice. From my experience, that could be completely wrong. And of course it's art, so not only is it relative, but there's infinitely many situations where that could be false. But yeah, so yeah, now we're gonna do the majority inked shape. And in fact, we can maybe do some of our connections through there. But yeah, so this can be like that. Almost looks like a graph. This is gonna just be all black, basically. And now what we can do is we can kind of extend it like that. Because a lot of these have that, or in fact, it's... Wow, this is gonna be a lot of ink. I think that's cool, though. Oh yeah, the other side of this page is probably gonna, yeah, suffer a tiny bit. Oops. Who cares? It's always the Sharpie that overdoes it. It's never the fine liner. So yeah, I'm gonna, for funsies, we're gonna fill this in. It's a bit therapeutic, you know? Oh my gosh, Sharpie is so strong. I'm a bit upset because, actually, I haven't made any promise to myself that I would join a club this semester at my university. And I have in the past every semester. But now that I am both streaming and working on this game project, I'm not sure how much I will want to. We shall see. I also bought a fragrance thing for my room this semester. I'm not sure if you guys do this, but I like different smells to associate with like different times. So like first semester smells different. I know it's a bit strange, but I like it. And I bought some today from like a different brand. It's just one of those like scent refreshers that you put into the wall. Not only does it smell like just pure alcohol, which is abhorrent, but it's really bad for my allergies. I did have it on like near max earlier, so maybe that's part of it. But I'm a fan of like calmer, less, you know, invasive scents, and that is just a full-on assault. So either I'm gonna spend another $5 at this store tomorrow, because I'm very sure that I probably forgot something, or suffer. Now I'm no professional, but that looks decent. You can assume that there's some kind of form happening right here. We'll bring the camera a bit closer for that. Hopefully it focuses, yeah. So, not bad at all. In fact, I would say that's almost wonderful. So, with that being said, we will do a test version. We will do a little test sausage form. Then let's just hop right into it. I'm gonna take a quick water break. And while we are at it, I'm going to double check that everything on YouTube's end is good. That looks good. Awesome stuff. Okay, let's get back to it. Yeah. So, and also, yeah, I've not gotten contact with Creator Mix yet. I'm pretty sure they don't know that their email verification part of the website is down. But I also like, I don't know, I don't want to say I'm lazy or too lazy to email them, but they're like, Rise I email, they'll be like, oh, you're doing it wrong. Because that's through my whole experience with tech support, that's been the case. And I think I just realized how I broke. As you'll notice, the music player just broke. I think it's because I tabbed over to something else. So good on you, Tuna. Thank you. My friend's been not nagging me, giving me strong recommendations to other services, and I'm just too lazy to change over because I already have it all set up. I really should though, because they've been very helpful with their recommendations. We'll turn off Tuna and just hope it works. Cool. Who knows? Yeah, maybe it'll refresh by next song. Anyways, let us make a sausage form. Did that bleed at all? It didn't bleed at all. Not that much, at least. Actually, it did bleed, but whatever. Be careful with this, because there's lead on this, and lead loves to smear. Oof, that, whatever my roommates are cooking, it's turned into like a bit of a, almost a chemical smell. Am I being, like, gassed out right now? Do I need to leave? Jeez. Okay, whatever. It's not that bad at all. So, we, yeah, just do a quick sausage form. Oh, that's a tiny little sausage form. Let's look at our actual forms and see what's going to happen here. So we said right here, so it's just these two inner ones, a lot like our Viper. Gives us an opportunity to kind of meld these textures of it, to warp them. Uncomfy's analogy that textures are kind of like a wrapping paper. I'm not sure if that's what he said explicitly, but that like textures are something you put onto an object and wrap around it, right? Actually, wait, no, I can't remember specific. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, it was something like that. He basically, like, if you imagine just like putting it on the surface and it doing that, like, that helped me a lot. Now obviously there's like a 3D form to it, but yeah, if you like just took it and took off the surface and laid it flat. I don't know a better way of explaining it like that, but that's how I see textures, and it's been very helpful. So let's just transfer that to there. And in fact, I know it's a bit of cheating. I know, I understand. Trust me, I know. But we are going to do some of this. We're gonna make a mesh. I like the mesh technique. We're gonna bisect it. Don't feel like I do. There we go. And I'm not gonna do the center line because I'm lazy and Uncomfy will beat me with the shoe. I don't know. I said this last stream, but I just kind of mentally picture him as like the Duolingo bird of drawing. I'm pretty confident he'll never see this stream, so watch someone one day just go back and send this to him. That'd be awful. He'd make me do 250 boxes again. Why are these two off? Whatever. Maybe it's because I'm making fun of Uncomfy. He's an awesome dude. So, good. Nah. So yeah, now we have this kind of mesh to work with. And what we can do now is just kind of put our very square things in there. So what this will look like. In fact, I should have done these at kind of these green lines in a bit of like a more consistent rate, so we could watch how they stretch. Because I just kind of did them equally almost. Um, there we go. It's kind of weird seeing it like disappear right here. Almost looks like there's like a ball in there or something. That's cool. So yeah, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna kind of fill this in. So the closest one to us will actually be like the thinnest one. Um, where's, I mean, you're gonna barely be able to see whatever's going on in there. We're gonna, hmm. We have to decide which, like, where this corner is, where the shaded corner is on our actual form. Um, because if we have it right here, is the shadow gonna be on this part? Yeah, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do one like this. Like that. Then another one. This one's gonna be super dark. This one's gonna be less, if at all. And this one's gonna be like practically invisible. If at all visible, yeah, it's not gonna be very. We're gonna have one right here and the shadow's gonna switch sides. Once again, barely, we want to probably decrease the rate at which that's visible. This one's gonna be in the heights of these. We'll do a little bit of red. This height is going to change. It's going to shrink as we go that direction. Seems intuitive, seems obvious, and we've talked about it for at least the last 4 streams ever since the Quantum Melon. But with that being said, it's a good thing to just verbally, explicitly note right there. Now and so we'll it's gonna get pinched over here, so we'll do that as well. Yay, my favorite song. Let's go. And in fact, this shadow is gonna be super thin as we go this way because we're seeing less of it. Good. What? Where's my music? Okay. I was gonna say it's my favorite song. You can't do this to me. Okay. So yeah, these are pretty heavy. So like I said, we're gonna start from the center next time. This time because we're doing it again. Okay. Where's my music? That's worrying. If we lose our music this stream, I would be quite upset. In all honesty, what I'm gonna do is just listen to my own music. Oh, I thought it cut out right there. But yeah. Anyways, back to it. So yeah, we're gonna do one right here. We're gonna make it super thin this time. This isn't good. Okay, we're refreshing the page. This is really worrying. Oh, well, you can see what browser I'm using. Okay, no clue what that was. So yeah, we're gonna be very light here. Uh-oh. This does not bode well. My internet's good. Who knows? So yeah, we're gonna do this, and then slowly thicken it up. Okay, well I'm about to give up on the music if it does this again. Uh-oh, this really isn't good. Apologies for everyone listening. That's probably very annoying. And trust me, I agree. And what we can actually do for the form over here is if we have these, we can do this. Actually, no, that looks bad. Don't do that. None of that. Okay, I'm gonna give it one more chance, and then no more music. In fact, it seems like it's made that decision for me. Huh. We're gonna let it sit for a bit. I hate to do a no music stream with you guys, but that may be the case. Let's try it again, one more time. Okay. Hopefully we're all good. Okay, we're done. Oh, what is it doing? I'm gonna leave it off. Um, yeah, I hate to do the rest of the stream without music, but we're just gonna pop that out of there for right now. No more music for right now. We'll come back. That's very ironic that I had that whole speech at the beginning of today's stream about music and then, whatever. So, these are looking a bit wonky right now. It's because they're not obeying the same, like this end's very consistent because it's obeying that ellipse, but these aren't because they're kind of freely constructed. Um, so yeah, like obeying the grid. So this, actually, that's kind of helpful, having these lines. Also, choosing a, well, the stream is very strange without music. Choosing a consistent gap between them will also be very important. So yeah, we'll do a couple more test cases, but other than that, I think we're pretty fine going forward. It's just we need to be a lot lighter. In fact, we're not going to even draw the center one for this one, just barely. In fact, let's draw them smaller too, so we could fit more of them. So we could demonstrate the change more drastically. And yeah, these distances, everything's shrinking basically as it goes over here. There we go. That's pretty great actually. I'll turn our music on in a bit if it decides to behave, but I can't make any promises. So there would be a square right here, which means right here would have one. Yeah, the tops are going to be a bit curved. Of course, they're going to just shrink as they go on. Man, this stream really sucks without music. I think what I'm going to do, this is going to mess up my whole setup for a second, but we're going to try to fix this. I don't want to take the awesome music away from you guys. Do this. Seems like it's acting better now. So let's hope for the best. Wasn't even working on that when I was still messing with it. Okay, this is shrinking quite a bit. We shouldn't be doing that because of that curve. Um, so yeah, these lines are ironically messing me up a bit, but yeah, that's not bad at all. I like it. Okay, so going forward. Oh, and it should be tilted. And in fact, we didn't even consider the because I wasn't fully looking at my reference. Let's pull that back up. Um, wow, what is going on with the music today? That is very, very upsetting. Okay, we do have this, so I'm not even sure if I want to do it at this point because lazy and it already looks good. But yeah, it would kind of, it would be a bit 3D, so it would have a bit of a, meh. I don't think we should do it. What is going on with our music? I think it's the web player associated with this. Um, in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull up a different mix. This is still creator mix, of course. Uh, now it's not even playing. That's scary. This is what I get, man. This is my karma for not downloading everything correctly. Well, now it's not even playing. Very upsetting indeed. one last time, and then we'll quit permanently. Okay, I think that's our sign. It is not even playing. What is going on? I think I know why. Oh my gosh, I thought I was using Ethernet this whole time, but I've still been on the Wi-Fi. Well, it's no use in changing right now. We'll just hope our internet gets better. I do apologize for all this technical stuff, and right after the stream, I'll make sure to switch over. Anyways, let's get to our actual form. We've waited long enough. We have the power. Okay, I almost looked at cheese grater and thought I spelled it wrong. That would have been very upsetting. I will hide the music for now. Pull this up to the side so we can reference it as we go along, see our little techniques. And yeah, so we're going to start from the center, go to the outside, and start with our little Fs. And in fact, there's not going to be much going on in the middle. Not many Fs happening there, but there will be at the side, so we can actually start on the side ones. What I'm going to do is we're going to do piece by piece, and make sure I'm in the view of the camera correctly here. And we're going to do line, 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 line. Now these are going to be very important lines because this will dictate like most of the structure of our texture. So off to an okay start. It's going to be following this curve. It's going to be these breaks. I'm trying not to be too consistent with them. Oh man, I kind of wish I did add the cone part, but who cares? Okay, so that's pretty good. Now it's at the tops of them. This part is important because if we look over here, remember that they only curve a bit. I mean, all of them do technically curve a bit, but these curve quite a bit. And this is gonna, and they're gonna shrink. They're gonna foreshorten as they go closer down, right? So the center one most is gonna be pretty linear as we talked about over here. It's gonna be pretty normal, conventionally. Then this one's gonna be a bit bent, gonna be like this. Same thing here. I guess we're gonna do the textures this way. Oops, didn't even think about that. Pretty good so far. There we go. Okay, good. Let us continue. Man, the lack of music is disheartening. We're gonna try again. We're gonna keep trying. Apologies for everyone listening, but I want my music. I'm a music-oriented individual. What can I say? Okay, I'm gonna give it another chance. It's very easy to upset me at this point. Maybe they're throttling me. They don't want my streams to get to people. Censorship. So these are gonna be pretty thick lines, so we don't have to be scared about doing them too lightly. Do have to make them consistent though. And they're gonna be ever so slightly smaller than the ones above it. Because we want to fit the same amount in a smaller space. We're gonna do this side of it. Same goes to here. To be slightly smaller. Oh! Didn't ghost that one too well. That's weird because these curve this way, these curve this way. And the middle should be straight. I just keep forgetting that and kind of messing up my lines as I do it, but whatever. We're gonna keep trying our best. Once again, guys, I know I say this every stream, but please remember, if you feel so inclined, let me know in the comments or in chat what you're working on. I love hearing the stuff that people are obsessed with, and I think it's really important to talk about those things too. It keeps you passionate, it keeps you entertained with it. And I'm just realizing these textures are shifted a bit weird, uh-oh. But what we could do is we can add a thick black line down there, and that will enable us. These are supposed to be super curved. Oops. We can still kind of manage that. Yeah, these are supposed to be like super curved. Oops. That'll enable us to have that like darker shadow down there without feeling too guilty about it. So we have these right up here, and now we're going to repeat and just checking so the light's coming from this way, so it's going to make an backwards L shape this way. Awesome stuff. And it looks like our music's back. Hopefully I didn't jinx it. Take a quick water break and continue it shortly. Haven't made any progress on that book I was talking about the other day, because I'm lazy. Seems like a wonderful book, though. I'll definitely be listening to it like when I go to the gym or stuff like that. So these are going to be already proportionally smaller because it's further away from the viewer. I think I oopsied a bit too close to the sun here. So we're going to make that one longer. There we go. I'm going to curve it around, and our music has stopped. Yay! Why is it doing this? Okay, I guess I'm going to have to manually... Oh, suggestion. It's not picking... I made a new... Oh, it wasn't even playing the music. There we go. What's going on in the studio? I'm getting an alert. The audio stream bitrate is lower. Yep, okay. That's not good. Yeah, the bitrate of 0 is probably not too good. Well, we'll see how this recording comes out. Again, I apologize for any technical difficulties. The Ethernet is connected, but I'm still running off Wi-Fi, so that's half the issue right there. So yeah, we want to keep these kind of consistent going around. And we have already failed, so we'll start trying to fix that right here with this one. Oof. Oops. So we have this, and now we're having this. Good stuff. Not the best, but hey, it's okay. Yeah, because like this shifted. That's okay. So we'll start. We have this big old gap right here, so we'll try to figure that one out. So the L is going to go this way, so what we can do is we can bring the L down a bit and just make this a bit of a longer one. It's going to be a bit misshapen, but that's okay. We'll work with it. Because these are a bit small for what they should be, so we'll extend this out and make this one a bit misshapen too. We're going to curve inwards because that's where our ellipse is going, right? Yeah, and this one's going to be a bit more straight. This one's going to curve a bit inwards as well. Same here. These are going to curve outwards a bit, not by a lot. Cool. We'll continue. More L's. These are solid lines now, so we don't have to worry as much. Just before, I did make these a bit close, whoops. And that's okay, because it is technically foreshortening. So, we can use our mistakes with it for us. Happy accident philosophy, whatever it may be. Then again, I'm still not too happy with my accidents. Straighten out. Start bending back. That's the main lesson of today is being mindful of our line work as we go forward. Then finally the last ones. These are going to be like those side ones where it kind of manipulates the form too, so that's going to be quite fun to experiment with. And thankfully the line work can be Tiny bit sloppy right here. Because it's going to be all black. So that works. Okay, awesome. Now we just have to start filling these in, adding some of that darkness to it. So I think we should look at it this way because this is kind of the main way you should view it. So these are going to be only a tiny bit thick, if at all. Oh yeah, that's not what we're worried about yet. Oh, very wobbly today, don't know why. Even though the weather is horrendously cold outside. My fingers are not too frozen. My apartment has always made a wonderful job of being excessively warm. Just looked at the text my roommate sent me earlier. What awesome people. Oh jeez. Oh jeez. Oh jeez. Oh, over-inked that. Oh, I'm over-inking a lot. Let's get serious. Cav, jeez. Goes to that line. Ah, I see why I'm doing it. It's because the lines bend and I'm kind of just doing straight lines. Plus the page is lifting a bit, so. Then again, skill issue. Man, sometimes it just hits me like little visions. Let's call them prophecies because I want to be optimistic. Of just when I become a better artist. I don't want to say great artist, but you know, what I'll be able to do. I hope you guys, even though it is tough improving in anything, I hope you guys don't give yourself too much trash for not being where you're at or where you think you should be. Because so long as we work our hardest every day, and I know I say this every stream, 1% every day, we will improve to an unbelievable margin. And not only do I want to catalog that journey, but I want to take you guys with me. I believe if we all put a lot of effort in as a community, we can see some amazing stuff happen. And the fact that I've met so many amazing people on Drawbox in such a short time is a testament to what can be done, how many amazing people can form a awesome community. But yeah, it takes a lot of work. And sadly, our radio today. Geez, okay. I thought it just went quiet again. I was going to say that radio today has not been putting in the hard work. So these I'm a bit questionable about because you can't see that under part, but technically the shadow does get bigger. Just, you know, it's not as big as these. But it is there, so we shouldn't leave it to be the same size. Ah, jeez. Feel like I'm making these thick a bit too fast, so we're gonna stop there and continue. Like we said earlier, we can always add to it. Plus, these are very warped. For a good reason. They're not just by error from me, even though that is very much a reality. It's the nature of the sausage form. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to add these higher points on the outside of the form to indicate that this is going down. Very, very cool looking cool, I don't know. Just strange looking, right? So these, what we're gonna look is, we're gonna look over here and kind of see how we did this. So we have left top shadow. So let's try to recreate that. Left top shadow. So it would be pointing in this direction actually. But we're gonna kind of mirror it and do it over here. So these may point to the shadow. So what we're gonna do kind of is this. Have a bit of this going on there. We don't overdo it. This is a very dangerous operation, and like I said, we will not be touching this with a Sharpie. No more Sharpies. No more. Too powerful. We haven't the strength to wield it yet. Or at least I don't. Maybe you guys do. That's okay. I like it. Let's add those center ones now. Definitely feel like these could use some more ink. I was being conservative initially. What we can do is kind of this thing. Show that there is a form there. Just imply that there's a form. Nothing crazy. Maybe I overdid it a tiny bit, but that's okay. Yeah, that line's bothering me a lot. Just really lightly. I'm not even sure we should be doing this. It's kind of ruining it a bit, but might as well stay consistent, right? In fact, we should have done this near the baiting, so it could be like a consistent flow throughout it, form-wise, but that's okay. Oh, did I smear my ink? I don't know what I did. I hope I didn't. We're gonna actually bolster these up a bit more. Make it a bit thicker, because if we're gonna have a form here, we might as well imply it a bit better. Right here, I'm gonna do this to kind of like show that, oh, the form is breaking out. That's a bit excessive. Oh, I said we're gonna do that little cylinder at the top and we didn't. Well, what can I do? I think I can a tiny bit. Oh, don't want to overdo it. Remember, we said at the beginning our philosophy for this one is gonna be less is more. It just doesn't seem like a waffle cone, and I don't understand what I'm missing. Doesn't feel like Batman. And I think it's because the way I did the shadows. But it makes sense, right? Because there's a source coming from over here, so it's causing a shadow on that overhang. And as it gets further and further away from that shadow, it does this. It has more on the left and right because, kind of technically, yeah. These could probably use some more. Well, it seems like music player stopped once again. Very impressive. Oh, it's my internet doing that. So, yeah. And also, it seems that my music player is completely broken. And maybe the stream is broken as well. So I apologize once again for that. We're gonna keep going. You know, what can you do about it, right? Maybe it wants to work again? Yeah? Nope. Cool. Well, okay, we'll leave it be for now. Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. It wasn't even displaying the thing correctly. Man, that is so ridiculous. Yeah, Spada. Oh, jeez. What is your issue, my man? Oh, okay. We're back. Hopefully it's gonna update Tuna to do the right thing. Yep, awesome. Okay, we're back to it. There we go. Yeah, my internet cutting out once again. Apologies, guys. That will be fixed next stream. Feel like I always have to say that every stream, but you know. It's a learning process, streaming. I think it's just retouching everything up and then... Yeah, the center one is a bit meh. I think that's fine. I think we'll leave it there. Just like the serpent scales, we'll revisit it. I think this one just like has warped my perception of crowding, and so like, oh, a lot means more. Sometimes less means more, and that's okay. So we'll title this. Looks almost honeycomb-like. I know my friend Delano tried that, tried the honeycomb, or I remember. I'm not sure if they actually drew it or not. Um, Regardless, I bet it's perfectly within their capabilities too. Yeah. So let's do it. It's a waffle cone. Let me just double check that I'm spelling it correctly. It's like calligraphy, you have to have... Yeah, I'm gonna just put waffle cone. I feel like you have to have it in front of you to make sure you don't misspell it. And instead of having this thick line here, what I'll do is I'm gonna do the bumps. So there's a bump right here, then nothing. Then a bump right here, and then nothing. Oh, geez, too much of a bump. Smoothing that out. So it makes it just slightly seem... I kind of messed it up a tiny bit, but that's okay. Less is more. We're done. We're put a waffle cone right there. W. Oh, jeez. Cone. Waffle cone. Awesome. Good stuff. We did an excellent job today. Not even much analysis yet, we got there. So, in fact, whenever I take screenshots of things I'm going to put in the thumbnail, I don't have much to do, so I'll include this in there. Why not? Also, what I'm going to make sure I do for future streams is whenever I upload it, I'm going to put like sections. So like warm up stream, or like warm up texture start and stuff like that. Just make it easier for people watching. Even though not many people watch, I see my retention rates, but just make it a bit more comfortable for everybody. Okay, so let's just doodle for a tiny bit for our 7 minutes, even though I'm technically sure, yeah, the stream's been going on for an hour and 21 minutes, so we've probably gone over, but it's fine. An hour is an hour, we'll commit to it. So I'm gonna move this. We don't really have much room to do our Franken boxes. We could do it over here, why not? Also, I switched out my art binder. The new one I got is just too flimsy, too large. Ironically, the smaller one, and it was bending my pages, which really upset me, so, you know, why make a thing to hold pages? And it breaks. So just do a box for funsies. We'll do a cylinder. We'll try really hard on this cylinder. Yeah, sometime this week too, I'm pretty dedicated to doing a study reference of V1 from Ultrakill. Very geometrically based, and would be one of my first references. One of the first references ever done on the stream as well. So it'd be pretty fun. Okay, we're gonna make the box. So whenever I make things with square faces, I always start off with the face that's going to be a square, because this point right here will dictate if it's a square or not and how much of a square it is. So intuitively I want to put it right there-ish, because everything else will be based off that. And not only that, but the height can be controlled without worrying about this point. So this point does not impact the height because it's only 2 lines, so it's only constricting 2 vanishing points. Awesome. Great lines too. Oh, I just realized it's probably going to cut through unless we foreshorten it a lot, so we could do that for fun. Just make sure this obeys this line's vanishing point. Perfect. That's pretty good. Oh, looks like we're skimming it right there. Ah, jeez. Maybe we could turn this into an ice cream cone. That'd be quite fun. Almost looks like a splinter coming off the side of that. It's a bit funny. Okay. That is completely off. Also, one of my roommates, whether he likes to admit it or not, is a very no, I hate the word talent, a very skilled musician. I was wondering if I could possibly ask him in the future if he would like to make some of the music for that game I'm working on. I love trying to involve my friends in my projects because my love language is, you know, actions or whatever it's called. So whenever I can involve people in things and doing stuff, that's like the happiest I can be with a friend is when we're both like, like the concept of just like sitting down and working on something together, like literally like building Legos, as silly as it may be, or stuff like that, or just any project. I love that. You know, you have your spheres of influence. You're both good at separate things yet committed to the same goal. It's such an awesome feeling when you complete it too, and you can say, "We did this." Man. That's somewhat good. I know one of these is not converging correctly though. Maybe it's this one. Yeah, it's that one. Because this is supposed to be like right here. Technically, we're supposed to line up with this one because this was the first line we did. But yeah, that's technically supposed to be like that. And I think visually it would look much better if we did it like that. I'm trying to be like so good at boxes one day that I could just like rainbolt, just instantly look at a box, know who made it, where, why, how, all error, like something like that. Okay, let's do an ice cream cone for funsies. We have the base, the top of the cone. We'll start with that. I'm gonna do it like the not traditional. It's kind of like the multi-layer one. Here, I'll try to pull up a reference for you guys. And since it doesn't seem like anyone's gonna be joining the chat soon, we could switch over to the whatever it's called, large reference section. I can't. Oh, because I looked up waffle cone, ice cream cone. Wow, this is the worst spelling I think I've ever done in my whole life. Yeah, so like one of these. Actually, that's a. Doesn't really matter if it's complex or not. We're still gonna do our best, right? We'll do this. Does it count as copyright? I don't know. Okay, so yeah, we'll do something like this. Where we have that like initial taper on the front. So. There we go. Pretty goofy looking, but we'll make it work. And then we have. It's gonna converge to nearly the same place, so we're just gonna do that. Or it will converge to the same place. Just, yeah, those lines are gonna be somewhat close to parallel. I think I'm making this one a bit tall, but that's okay. Because this one's gonna be a bit tricky because it's an interior line, so gotta be extra special careful. So in fact, we don't even have to draw another ellipse, but we just know that's gonna chamfer a bit inwards to that plane underneath it. There we go. This is already pretty rough. That initial ellipse kind of did mess me up totally, but that's fine. And then we have the drop, so it's going to drop to about right here, I'd say. Fortunately, we'll do it right here. Now the rate of these lines, that's what I'm going to call it, the rate, they're going to start ramping up a bit, so they're going to be going towards the middle a bit faster. They slope inwards, it's going to increase. So yeah, we're going to have a similar sized ellipse, or same degree, slightly smaller because it's foreshortening. It's going to go down like that. This is already pretty rough. You know what, I say we leave it there. Time's up. I think we're good. No more embarrassing ourselves. It's definitely the quality of my lips, and plus, what I really could have done is I could have bisected it, and then like from there measured out the ellipse, and then done it more properly that way. But I was rushing a bit. So, what did we learn today, and how did we learn it? So, we started off with the boxes, pretty good. We really focused up on this one. Looks a bit goofy, ironically, or was it this one? Whichever one. Ellipses are looking good as per usual, slowly improving. We are a bit messy though, so let's try to get it down to only 2. Actually 2 to 3, because it's not an only 2 kind of thing, but 2 to 3. Lines were a bit rough in the beginning, but ended up being okay over here. We did our initial analysis of the texture, which actually looks pretty good. Shows definitely an understanding of how the shadows were working there, and how the form worked up here with that chamfer. Then we did a test version with a meshed out sausage form. Turned out pretty well. So we jumped straight into the actual form. Something's off. I couldn't say what. I don't like the interior part, but other than that, we're pretty good. A successful day, nonetheless. We did a texture, and it looks wonderful. So, with that being said, thank you guys very much for tuning in today. Hopefully I'll have all the technical stuff fixed by tomorrow, especially the goofy internet thing. And then I start class pretty soon this week. So, with that being said, thank you very much for watching. We actually have an end screen for once, and yeah, so see you guys tomorrow. Bye.